one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps because they know what happens next. So without further ado,
Free smoke.
look. Scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much of how you doing would admit to me.
I know people already saying, oh, they need to go back to East against West. You niggas just was talking about you didn't like the East against West. Then you didn't like Team LeBron, Team Giannis type shit. Now you don't like this. It's literally nothing these niggas can do to make you happy. You say you want them to play like they do in the regular season, but then you say, I don't like the way they play in the regular season. You say you want them to play the way they play in the playoffs. Oh, but the playoffs is boring. Like, you niggas, they can't win with you niggas. That's why I understand why KD talked to you niggas the way he talked to you. I see why they interact with y'all the way they do, because you niggas are annoying.
When did winning not become the main thing? I always say keep the main thing, where, you know, winning is the only thing that truly matters.
Welcome to the recap on Saints World. I was going to say on Kicking It With Saint, but that is a show in itself on Saints World. I hope everybody's doing great out there today. Whichever point in time you listen to this. Hope you're having a dope day, afternoon, night, whichever point in time you're listening to this. Let's try to be good people today. All right? Let's try to be better people. I was on Twitter and I'm finding that, you know, some people's obsessions with things that do not matter. And I'm not talking about like, oh, he cares about this and that has no effect on. No. I'm not like that. I understand some people. We care more. We have. I'm not knocking niggas for being attached to things that make them feel good. That's not what I'm saying. But being a fan of somebody and going at other people who are not as big fans of that person, saying you're going to kill them and saying like talking trash about their fan, like saying real crazy shit. I don't understand what's wrong with the youth. I really don't. But nonetheless, NBA All-Star Weekend. Boy, we have a show for you today. Listen. I'm going to just tell you straight up. I enjoy NBA All-Star. I enjoyed the All-Star game. We'll talk about the whole weekend, but I want to first talk about I want to start off by talking about the sports analysts like Stephen A. Smith, Draymond when he feel like being a sports analyst, Shannon Sharp, you know, just the many ESPN analysts, the nameless ones, because I know a lot of them is not big names as Stephen A. and Shannon, but Shannon really was the one doing it the most. But, you know, all of these sports analysts who continue to get on Twitter or on social medias and bitch and complain about the All-Star game, it's no longer critiquing it. It is just straight up bitching and complaining, because if you were there to critique it, then you would not just talk about the things you feel is a problem. You would talk about ways you could fix it. And the only ways to fix it is not just, oh, people got to try harder. People got to try. Bro, that you saying, y'all niggas is legitimately regurgitating the same shit every single fucking year. And my annoyance with it is, for as many NBA All-Star games as I've recapped on this channel, the only one that, in my opinion, was terrible was last year. And we're going to talk about that one in a second. But the fact that these niggas get on TV and do segments where it's like, why is NBA viewership down? Why is the NBA not where it used to be? Yada, yada, yada. But then they hop on Twitter and talk down on the product every chance they get. They beef with the athletes. Their ego make them feel like they are just as important or just as big as these athletes. And then you got these annoying fans who hate anybody with money. So they agree with the analysts, even though the analysts also have money. I don't get it. I guess fans think because they do a lot of that talking on Twitter, they say a bunch of incoherent shit that makes no sense whatsoever. They look at the Nick Wrights of the world and say, well, shit, I can do that job, so they don't hate on him. But they look at these NBA players and these athletes and say, I could never do that. So they hate on them niggas instead. It makes no sense logically, but it is what it is. Nonetheless, I just feel as though Adam Silver need to call these niggas and have a discussion. Like every year we do the All-Star game. How about y'all niggas try to bring some positivity to this event? How about not hopping on Twitter and immediately downing every single fucking idea we have? I haven't watched any of the sports shows leading up to the NBA All-Star game for a big reason, because the Super Bowl was happening. But another reason was every title for every single one of the All-Star event shows, or anytime they talked about that topic, the title of the video was some shit that made me know from the beginning they were just going to be ranting for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. I'm not here for that. I don't want to hear that shit, because at the end of the day, people could talk about effort as much as they want to. I do not understand how you niggas fail to realize this is a All-Star game in the middle of the fucking season. This is not like baseball. I hate it when niggas say, well, look at the baseball All-Star game. Baseball All-Star games is played like a regular game because you really can't do shit in a baseball All-Star game. It's no fancy rules. Having the best of the best. It's baseball. It's the hardest sport. Bro, comparing a baseball All-Star game and an NBA All-Star game just makes no sense to me whatsoever. I hate when niggas compare them. I really would. And the only time a baseball game has a good All-Star game is if the game somehow is competitive. If it's a blowout, we never talk about that game. Hell, even if it's not a blowout, if it's a close game but it wasn't like a good game, niggas just ran into some hits, we don't talk about it. Like that, the game where they had the Field of Dreams game that baseball had a couple years ago, where that game between the White Sox and the Yankees ended with a Tim Anderson. Quite frankly, I believe that was Tim Anderson's last great year, but Tim Anderson hitting that walk-off home run. That is a moment. Bro, we acting like that's what every single baseball, and I'm not here to shit on the baseball All-Star game. I just really don't like people comparing the two because they are completely different in the sport. But not understanding that these niggas is playing, and you don't see pitchers going out there pitching 5, 6 innings in an All-Star game. You don't see it. A lot of the players get 1 or 2 at bats and then they go rotate. Like, I'm not understanding why you niggas expect for these dudes to play like they're about to play a finals game, or like they're about to play in the playoffs, or as if they are about to play against each other during the season. This is an exhibition game for the fans. This is not an exhibition game that actually is not an exhibition game. This is an exhibition game. At the middle of the season. They still got season left to play and the playoffs. Now let somebody get hurt in this game and then niggas will start screaming, oh, they need to cancel the game. I just don't like the fans try to have it both ways. I really don't. And I don't like that the analysts who are paid to talk up the sport, and I'm not talking about talk up the sport as in like just glaze the sport, but your job is not to critique everything. Like, I think that's what's confusing about sports media. These niggas think that the only job that they have is to critique everything. Like, I always hear Shannon say, players never call me when I talk good on them, but they always say something like, my nigga, because it's when you critiquing them, it's far outweighs any time you give them any type of credit. If I got to search to find when you gave me any type of credit, but I could just easily see all of these videos of segments of you talking crazy about me, what do you expect me to believe? Like, so I don't understand these analysts talking down on the All-Star game every fucking year. And then asking the questions like, oh, well, why is the viewership down? Why do people not? Like, my nigga, how about we give them some idea? And then approaching this thing, because Draymond Green tonight, I didn't agree with shit he said at that interview. And I like Draymond, but Draymond's negativity resembles a lot of the media's. And he played a sport. That's what I don't understand about it. Oscar Robertson and Chuck being annoyed with Drake. You gotta understand, a nigga like Chuck is a Hall of Famer. He and Shaq are greater players than Draymond will probably ever be, and that is not a slight at Draymond. They are finding ways to not finding ways. They are understanding that this may not be the greatest of All-Star weekends, but we are going to play our part in trying to make this a better weekend. Every single year, the TNT crew go all out to try to make this a great event. Every single year. Why can't the other guys? And I'm not talking about the effort on the court. I'm talking about when you're talking up the sport, when you're talking up the weekend, when you're talking up the product. Do you think niggas want to tune in and hear you talk down on the product every single second of the day? How about talking up on the product, saying things that could be better, so niggas come in with a negative mindset already can find ways to enjoy it, can listen. You might say something to make them rethink how they think. Like I just don't understand this flurry of negativity that surrounds NBA All-Star Weekend the last couple years. Now, with that being said, it was warranted last year. I believe it was last year. That was probably the worst All-Star game I'd ever seen since I've been watching the NBA. And I'm 30, so I've been watching the NBA for a while. Last year was by far my least favorite one. Like, I didn't like last year's All-Star game at all. It was just so much shit around the All-Star game last year I didn't like. All the young niggas, for some reason, kept wanting to walk around and tell every media outlet possible that they did not care about this game. They did not care about this weekend. They were not going to compete in dunk contests and all these type of things. Like, I really don't understand it. That shit last year was annoying. Anthony Edwards was doing that shit. I remember when he said he was going to play with his opposite hand. Like, just not taking this weekend serious at all. I mean, shit, he didn't play this year. He took himself out of the game. I respect that more than going out there and bullshitting around, to be honest. But, and then all the three-pointers that them niggas, it was really the Celtics players that started that shit. But last year, all the three-pointers, bro, like, you could see a lot of the vets just stopped and left in the third quarter because this clearly was just the young niggas shooting up threes the rest of the game. It became a three-point shootout last year. And not even a competitive three-point shootout. Just niggas launching from anywhere on the court. Like, to me, last year was absolutely the worst it could get for All-Star Weekend. Like, by far. I thought last year was just terrible. It was no effort. It was no nothing. I was skeptical coming into this year. I was going to watch the All-Star game. But I was hesitant this year. I didn't look at none of the rules. I didn't look at any of the rules, the new setups, and I was going to be surprised. I just wanted to be, I was going to be in the moment when I was going to see and learn everything that was happening when it happened. I didn't care about reading the rules beforehand and all of that shit. But I did know it was a Team Shaq, Team Kenny, Team Chuck, and Candace Parker's Rising Stars. I did know about that, but I didn't know about anything else pertaining to how the event was going to go down. And I'll talk about the All-Star game in a second, but let's talk about the weekend. The Celebrity All-Star game, I've always enjoyed the Celebrity All-Star game. Not necessarily the product as far as like how good the game is, but I think for a long time the Celebrity All-Star game found its niche. It knew that it was an All-Star game meant to let celebrities shine. If you're having a Celebrity All-Star game, it's not just about basketball. It's about the celebrities. So those years with Kevin Hart running the game, I thought those was brilliant. Drewski and Kai Cenat becoming such big stars, I love it. But Drewski and Kai being, Drewski especially, because that nigga is hilarious. I think he can have a Kevin Hart. Him and Kai can have a Kevin Hart type of run over the next couple years. They're younger than what Kevin was when he was in that position. And I love that Kevin Hart is still such a big part of the NBA. Like, you could tell this is a passion for him because Kevin Hart rich, bro. He don't have to come to these events. He don't. Not only do he come to the events, like, he played big parts in these events. Like, so I appreciate Kevin Hart for that. Like, I think one of the biggest problems around NBA All-Star Weekend is people done forgot how to appreciate things. And this world has become fans especially have become so entitled because teams and players do let them into their lives more and more, and they do give them access to things. And so fans feel as entitled as ever. But I think fans forgetting to appreciate this spectacle, because that's what the weekend is, a spectacle of all the best players in the NBA coming together to put on a week of exhibition games and exhibition type events, but to put on a show for the fans. Like, I think fans have just become very, very, very entitled, so they don't appreciate things as much anymore. Like, Team OGs is the team I was rocking with from the moment they were put together, because I grew up watching all of those dudes. So I'm locked in anyways. I'm rocking with Team OG. I want to watch the weekend. It's like, I just think it's a lot of different things that can make people enjoy this weekend. This weekend supposed to be a kickback type of weekend. It's not supposed to be ultra competitive like a regular game. This is the weekend where you're supposed to appreciate these dudes and everything they've done for the league and yada yada yada. I just think the essence of that has been lost. But nonetheless, you had the Celebrity All-Star Game, which is, I enjoy it. I wish Drewski had won MVP. I love that he side-eyed Buddy. But I think Drewski and Casanat should be in this every year. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a big stream guy. Like, I don't watch a lot of streams. The only crew that I actually do watch, like, I watch these motherfuckers religiously. Like, they are a part of my watch thing. Like, RDC. I absolutely love RDC. I want them niggas to be billionaires. I want nothing but greatness for RDC. I hope that RDC is a part of these events next year. Like, I hope Mark get out there and play Dill, Dez, Leland. I hope them niggas get out there and hoop. I just want to see RDC be a part of these events also. But AMP, RDC, all these young black creators, I love seeing them get these the spotlight and get these moments. I would love to see, what I would really like to see from the NBA Celebrity Game? For one, I wish that I understand why Friday Celebrity Night or the start of NBA All-Star Weekend is kind of slow. Some people don't even watch the Celebrity Game. I really think the NBA don't hype it up enough. They hype up Saturday, Sunday. They don't really hype up Friday night enough. I really think they should do two different games, to be honest. I think they need to do a streamer game and really the NBA should just tap into that streaming market anyways. If you're going to have a celebrity game, you might as well just have the streamers do a whole bunch. You might as well work them that Friday night and use their communities to your advantage, because, I mean, you getting Casanat and RDC fans watching the product because they're going to support RDC and AMP and AMP, I mean. Hey, I just think Andrewski's fans support. Like, I just think the NBA can take that celebrity night Friday night to a whole nother level. I'm not hating on what the product that it is now, but I just think that the celebrity game not enough, and sometimes it's not as good because the only thing about the celebrity game I don't like is when they put too many good players on one team, or like really good former shooters on one team. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you put Ron Artest on one team, but then you put a straight up lethal shooter on the other one that played, it's not the same game. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, I enjoy the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. I said before, I wish they would have the WNBA. I know that the seasons don't happen at the same time. I just wish they would find ways to get the WNBA more involved in that Friday night specifically. But maybe the WNBA don't want to be involved. Who knows? But I think there's more ways to get more out of that Friday night. But getting into the real start of the weekend for most people. NBA All-Star Weekend, the dunk contest, the three-point contest, the skills challenge. I feel like I'm forgetting a challenge. Yeah. So I saw CP3 and Victor Wembanyama's skills challenge attempt. CP3, bro, what's up, bro? What's up? You ain't want to be there, bro. You should have just let somebody else take your spot. I refuse to believe that Victor Wembanyama thought that idea up himself. And I don't know if Chris Paul thought that idea up and said to himself, I'm doing this because I don't feel like doing this, or I'm doing this because I want to be funny. If he said he was doing this to be funny, I'm cool with it. If he really was doing this shit just because he had really no interest in doing this competition, well, now I'm a little annoyed. Nonetheless, I don't know who won that challenge. If you were expecting me to give you the results to the skills challenge, unfortunately, I cannot, because I just don't remember who won that hoe. Now, moving on to the 3-point contest. Tyler Hero won that. Buddy Hield. So the big story going into the 3-point contest was Dame Lillard could win 3 of them in a row. Dame Lillard was out in the first round, so that storyline died as quick as it died quick. I want to talk about Buddy Hield, because the storyline from this 3-point contest was very much Buddy Hield, who had a great first round. And then the second round started, the finals. He knew what he had to do to win. Out of all of the competitors left for this, I'm pretty sure most people had Buddy winning this. And Buddy proceeded to miss his first 7 fucking shots. And I thought to myself, Buddy, I thought this shit only happens in the games, my boy. I thought like this only happened in the season. Like you go on a hot streak and then it's like, did Buddy forget how to play ball? I did not think you would pull this shit in a 3-point contest, my boy. This was about to be one of your greatest NBA moments. You was about to win the 3-point contest in the Bay. I know they don't play in the Bay in the Oracle Arena no more. But you was about to win it, and basically with your fans there, and you blew it. You blew it. And Tyler Hero of the Miami Heat, walks away with the 3-point contest championship. Because Buddy Hield folded right in front of Steph Curry, man. Uninspirational, buddy. Uninspirational. The dunk contest. Now this is what I really want to talk about. The dunk contest was straight. The dunk contest don't really move me. I don't bitch and complain about the dunk contest. I didn't even say it. I would still keep the dunk contest as the last event because it's the dunk contest. If great dunks happen, you would rather see that than a 3-point shootout. Because these niggas are shooting wide open threes. I understand it's pressure because you're going against other people and it's a clock. At the end of the day, though, you can put those same pressures when it comes to dunking. And you got to come up with creative dunks and yada, yada, yada. So I'm always support the dunk contest being the last event. And I'm not one of them people who says take away the dunk contest. I'm never going to say that. However, I will sit here and say that I do believe that the dunk contest has become a little or a lot watered down. Or I don't even know if that's the right term or phrase. But I do know that I've been seeing people tweet. I saw Shannon Sharp tweet that Matt McClung is a Mount Rushmore dunker in the dunk contest. And that couldn't be further away from the truth. But then I saw other people tweeting like Mac, one of the greatest ever. And I'm like, yo, either you niggas just started watching the dunk contest like 4 or 5 years ago. So some of you niggas must be in middle school or something tweeting this shit, which a lot of these accounts are middle schoolers. Or you niggas like Shannon Sharp just don't like... I really don't like saying niggas don't know what they're talking about in a situation like this, but Shannon just clearly don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Because I don't know how you could have watched all these dunk contests and have this perspective of Matt McClung being one of the GOATs of this contest. I don't know if Matt McClung has done any, and I don't watch every contest. Matt McClung is not even in my top 5. And I know it'll be easy for somebody to be like, oh, he a white guy, so y'all... Bro, I do not care about that. I'm just going... For one, if I can't even remember the dunks that you did, it's not that you didn't have a great dunk contest. But I done seen so many great dunks from so many great dunkers in this contest. Not to mention, one of the things that I actually don't enjoy about Matt McClung is he don't really throw them hoes down. He do complete the dunk and whatnot, but it's not like he yamming them hoes. And this contest, I just kind of felt like he was using a lot of Aaron Gordon's ideas, which I'm not mad at, but it just made me think of Aaron Gordon, who, as I sit here right now, I cannot think of a single contest in which the collection of dunks done by one person impressed me or moved me the way that Aaron Gordon's first dunk contest against Levine did. I still to this day think that nigga was robbed. I don't know how he lost that dunk contest. This nigga with a mascot holding the ball over his head goes up clean over this nigga with his legs in a 90-degree fucking angle, takes the ball, put it under his ass, and still yam that hoe. Like, it wasn't like, no, he finished it as he was falling out of it. No, he yammed it. When the mascot was on the little scooter spinning with the ball, and he put his hand behind his head and yammed that hoe with this. That nigga Aaron Gordon is unreal. That dunk contest will live in my head rent-free for probably the rest of my life, unless I develop some type of disease or something that would make me not remember shit like that. But aside from that, I'm remembering the Jason Richardsons, the Vince Carters, the Zach Levines, the Gerald Greens, the Dwight Howards, the Nate Robinsons, Mac McClung. Congratulations to him on being a 3-time champion. I do not believe he faced the comp that these other niggas had to face in these dunk contests. Not only that, I'm not blaming that on Mac, because that's just what the dunk contest has become. However, while I can give Mac his credit for winning these, to say he wanted a top 5 to me is nutty. I'm not gonna lie to you. I saw somebody say Blake Griffin was better than him. I can't remember all of Blake's dunks right now, so I can't say that. But the dudes that I just mentioned before I got to Blake, all of them niggas. JaVale McGee, like, he had dunk contests, like great dunk contests. Like, I just, it's hard for me to put Matt, and I like some of the dunks he did. Some of the dunks reminded me of the JaVale McGee dunk. JaVale had that cupcake dunk, and he had that dunk on 2 rims. That kind of reminded me of Mac dunking 2 balls. And then when he used the mascot, that reminded me of, and he did basically the Aaron Gordon dunk. So I get it. Mac McClung, you know, all praise to him, but I just don't think my conversation is not, oh, Mac was bad or anything. That's not my conversation. My conversation is that nigga, as great as he is not no top 5. I don't even know if I would put him in the top 6, 7, 8 at this very moment, because it's just so many other dunks that moved me. Like, but maybe that's just because I feel like I don't think I've seen all that I can see. I just know. And it was some good dunks in this contest. The dude who played for the Spurs, he had a phenomenal dunk in this shit. It wasn't thrown down as hard as you would have wanted it to be, but it still got 50s. That just make me remember how special Levine and Aaron Gordon are. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, bro, Jason Richardson and you know what I hate? This new generation, or this young generation, they'll look at dunks and they're like, oh, I done seen somebody do that 1,000,000 times now. Bro, who do you think they got the inspiration to do these dunks from? Niggas be like, I done seen dudes do all these moves that Jordan do. My nigga, who you think inspired them? Like, y'all are goofy niggas, man. I done seen 1,000,000 great actors. Do that now make Denzel a terrible one? I done seen a lot of people play basically the same roles. Does that make the other people who played them first terrible or second? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the logic of some of you niggas. It's very confusing. I don't understand in 2025. I don't understand how did hate being this hateful, how did being a hateful ass nigga become this popular? I am very confused as to how it became so popular to be a hater. I really don't understand it. Maybe it's just I'm on Twitter too much. And I don't even think I'm on Twitter a lot, to be honest with you, especially compared to how much I used to be on Twitter. I'm on Twitter nowhere near as much as I used to be on Twitter, because seeing niggas, hateful ass niggas on Twitter Twitter is just overflooded with hateful ass niggas and racists and politicians, racist politicians and politicians who you just don't like. It's Twitter's something else. Twitter is something else. But that's my thoughts on the dunk contest. I'm not hating on Matt McClung or anything like that. It was a decent dunk contest. The dunk contest just really haven't moved me. I'm going to be honest with you. Saturday nights in the NBA All-Star Weekend haven't really done much for me over the last, as far as the dunk contest. I can't remember the last time I watched the skills challenge all the way through. I never really cared too much about the skills challenge. I remember when they used to have that thing where the WNBA player would play with one of the NBA players with one of the, and they find another player and they had to like hit the layup, hit the side shot, hit the free throw, and then hit the half court shot. I used to watch that shit all the time, but I don't really watch the skills challenge like that no more. If it's any event that they could take out, to me it would be the skills challenge. I'm not gonna lie to you. They could get rid of that shit and I wouldn't blink an eye. I wouldn't bat a fucking eye. But I think they will replace it. That's the thing. I don't think it would be hard to replace the skills challenge. It's very difficult to replace a 3-point and dunk contest because those are such fundamental parts of the game. And when people do those at an exceptional level, it's amazing to watch. The skills challenge, on the other hand, I just think you got too many moronic ass niggas who really don't appreciate all the many different type of skills. But also, the event don't really display skill as much. I know it's shooting, passing, dribbling, so technically it is supposed to highlight all the many skills, but I mean it's really practice drills we were looking at, to be honest with you, like a pseudo combine. So I think they could spruce that up, make that a little bit better. But aside from that, man, Saturday night was if I had to give it, I don't really want to grade it. I don't want to though, because my grade might make it seem like it was bad, but I just want to let you know in advance. My grade is not because I thought the weekend was bad. It's because I done seen so many great Saturdays in the W. I done seen so many great All-Star Saturdays in the NBA. I don't want to give it too high a grade that I would have given a different Saturday. So it's not that I don't think it's a good Saturday. It's just being compared to other Saturday NBA All-Star Weekend Saturdays that I've seen. So with that being said, it's already going to get a notch down because Steph Curry wasn't in the 3-point contest. So you're going to have that right there. That's my personal bias coming into play. On a scale from 1 to 5, like 1 to 5 stars, I probably give it 2 stars, but it's a healthy 2 stars. It definitely can't get 4 or 5 because that means it would be a memorable Saturday, but I can't give it. Yeah, I give it 2 stars. The NBA All-Star Game, though, that happened tonight. So the Rising Stars Challenge happened, and the winner of that game was going to take on Shaq's team, the OGs. And to start off the Sunday night, it was Kenny's team taking on Chuck's team. Chuck's team was basically the European stars. Kenny's team was the young guys. To start off this game, basically that nigga Cat did some shit that immediately reminded me of why niggas hate the game so much, which I really don't think niggas realize how much last year made them hate the All-Star Weekend, but I think that's really what it was. But Cat started off by doing that ignorant shit, taking just ridiculous 3-pointers, and he hit the first one, so I knew he was going to take another stupid ass 3-pointer, and his team ended up winning, but that's because Victor Wembanyama tall ass came to play. I probably should have wrote down every player on the teams, but I can basically remember most of the players who were on the teams, the important ones at least. I thought that I think it was 3 games played in all. Yeah, 3 games played in all. I thought all the games was competitive, to be honest. Far more competitive than the shit that happened. Like, listen, I'm just go ahead and tell you right now. If I had to give this a star rating, this weekend I will remember for a while. This to me is like a 3.5, 4 stars type of weekend because, for one, the OGs won. They won the entire tournament. That's the first thing. The OGs were Shaq's team. Shaq is my favorite of all the people on TNT, so that's another dub because I'm a Laker fan. Shaq was a Laker. Steph Curry is my favorite player in the NBA and my second favorite player all time. Really, he's just right there with Kobe for me. So that make the weekend even better because he won that Kobe Bryant MVP. And that his team won the weekend. And it was in Oakland. So he got love every second he was there. Plus, I love seeing the OGs that I grew up watching compete against each other. Be cool around each other. Be homies around each other. Like, I enjoy that shit. I know some people don't enjoy it. People like to be mean nowadays. People want to see everybody beefing. I don't know what it is about the world that's so addicted to seeing everybody beef with each other, but I'm a lot the opposite. I prefer to see these niggas loving up on each other, being cool with each other, appreciating each other. That's what I appreciate seeing. It's cool to compete when it's time to compete, but having to have fake animosity for each other at all points in time of the day, that shit's annoying. So I'm glad they don't do that shit. Team Kenny lost the first game. I thought the first game was a competitive game. I just thought Wembanyama became too much. The funny thing that happened in this game was, towards the end, Jaren Jackson tried to play defense. Now, Jaren Jackson tried to play. They played more defense. They didn't play as much defense as what would happen in these next two games. But I really think Team Chuck was the one team that didn't really care to play defense. Even though they won that first game, I think it's because they got off to a good little start. But they didn't play the defense that the Rising Stars played, the OGs played. And I think that's really what fucked them in that last game, because I'm skipping the Shaq game. Well, actually, let me talk about that first. In the Kenny Chuck game, the end of it, Jaren Jackson tried to play defense to end it off. And when his man got brought to Tyler Hero was like, yeah, fuck that, it's over. And he just let him get an easy bucket. So, very interesting. Nonetheless, the next two games were great. The Rising Stars versus the OGs. I immediately realized how good that game was going to be, because these OGs is not trying to lose to these young niggas. These young niggas will talk about that shit in every interview for the rest of the time. They are not trying. These young niggas ain't even all-stars technically. So they are not trying to lose. The way in the WNBA how the vets lost to those rookies last year, yeah, they are not trying to have that shit happen. So you could instantly see KD, Kyrie, and Bron didn't play. But you could instantly see KD, Kyrie, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, James Harden, Steph. You can see all of these niggas play hard. They was all playing hard. Kyrie being damn near the best defender on the OG's team was not expected, but it was a pleasant sight. Like, you could tell these niggas was not trying to lose to the young dudes. And I actually love that format, because it forced the OGs to play hard, because it don't matter how lax you want to be. When you are playing as a competitor, when you are playing against a group of niggas who you feel like you should beat and you are better than, at some point in time in that game, your competitive instincts are just going to kick in. Because now it's not East-West, homie against homie. All of us are all-stars, so it don't matter who. No. We are the OGs. We are all all-stars. We are not supposed to lose to these young niggas. These are not all-stars. They just want a rising star challenge. If we lose, bro, can you imagine what Twitter gonna say about us? Can you imagine what they're gonna say about us in the media the next day? So that right there already let me know it was gonna be a great game. Because I know, if you listen to how KD and these boys talk, they were not trying to lose this game. KD a hooper. That nigga ain't never trying to lose. So to see the defense that got played in this first game in the second game, but the game against the Rising Stars and the OGs, that was the best game of all the three. And I'll get to why the last one wasn't as great as this one, but this one was the better one. The OGs looked like they was about to trick off this win at the end, because they wanted to win it in style by taking the three-pointer, which they eventually did end up winning it by taking a three from Dame. But this was a great game. They played defense in this game. When it was time for them to try to lock, I thought OGs played defense both games they played. For the majority of both games they played, the Rising Stars played defense for the majority. The second game basically was defense the entire game. And I'm not talking about all-star, like a defense that you would see in a regular season or defense you would see in the finals. No. Yes, it's still all-star game, but they played far better defense than they have ever played in any other all-star game in recent memory or in the last couple years. They clearly were on the floor trying to stop each other. They would clog and block passing lanes, which is something they never did in the all-star game in the past couple years. Niggas was not just jacking up threes and hitting them and then being able to just keep jacking them up. Niggas was actually fighting for rebounds. Like, to me, that second game gave you a blueprint on what the future of the all-star game could be. Because you just forced the OGs to play hard. If these was OGs who didn't give a fuck about losing, it's a completely different story. The fact that you got a bunch of OGs who did not want to lose, they had too much pride to want to go out there and just bullshit around and lose this game. That's what made this great. But then you go to the next game. And I don't think that these niggas on Team Chuck realized that these OGs did not just not want to lose to them young niggas. They didn't want to lose to y'all niggas either. Like, I think that's what threw Team Chuck off. Because these niggas got off to a bad start anyways. The OGs went up 11-1 and 10-0 at one point in time. They probably could have went up 20-0 if they didn't have bad turnovers. That's how much better the OGs played. And it was so funny because the reason this game started off so uncompetitive is because the OGs was playing defense. They actually were getting steals. They were contesting jump shots. They were trying to clog passing lanes. Chuck's team wasn't doing none of that. I see now what Kenny was talking about when he said the European players don't really play hard in these All-Star weekends. I kind of see what he's talking about now, because you take out Victor Wembanyama, a lot of the European players really didn't play hard for Team Chuck. See, I think Team Chuck was the problem. They won that first game, but they really should have been the team that got eliminated first, because I think the only way them niggas would have tried to play any type of defense is if you had to put them up against the Rising Stars. And you can say whatever you want to about the Celtic players. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, hats off to you. The bullshit that you two niggas pulled last year had made me hate y'all niggas as far as y'all all-star appearances. The shit that you niggas did this year made me love you, because they both played defense and hit big shots. They didn't just go down court jacking up dumbass shots. Every three-pointer that Jason Tatum took was a good three-pointer. It was a three-pointer within the offense. It wasn't just him hogging the ball and taking dumbass shots like last year. It wasn't Jaylen Brown just launching up dumbass shots like last year. They actually played within the flow of as much of an offense as you could have with this all-star team they had. They played defense. The OGs represented tonight. Niggas is gonna get on TV and bitch and complain. The OGs represented tonight. They played defense as good as you could ask them to play for 2 games in the All-Star game. And I would contest the only reason the game kind of started to look sloppy in that last game at the end is because Team Chuck's team refuses. Team Chuck refused to play any type of fucking defense. And then it's almost like they thought that they could convince Team Shaq to start playing as lazy as them so they could sneak their way back into the game, and then Curry just said, yeah, that's not going to happen. Like, it's almost as if Curry said to himself, shit, if these niggas ain't trying to play no more, let me go ahead and end them. And that's exactly what happened. A Curry flurry. I tell you what, people can hate on these All-Star games. If you are a Steph Curry fan, you should be watching every single All-Star game till the man retires, because he has made the price of admission and your viewership, what's the word I'm looking for? He's made it, what is the word that I'm looking for? Worth it. That's what I'm looking for. He's made it all worth it, because this nigga shows out in the All-Star game. I can't think of one All-Star game in recent memory where he didn't play great. I remember the one where Wayne Wade, Reggie, and Allen Iverson was on the sideline, and he was going crazy with them there. Like, Steph Curry give you the price of admission. Like, if you gotta find one reason to watch All-Star Weekend, that motherfucker Wardell, man. Boy, he is a joy to watch. He is a joy to watch. But the weekend was great to me. If I had to give the All-Star game, these 3 games, my rating and all, out of so All-Star Sunday, I would give this I'm really leaning 4 stars, but maybe I'll give it a 3.5. I guess I'll land on 3.5. I really want to give it 4 stars. Now I'm giving it 4 stars, yo. Steph Curry balled out, and his team won, and they won twice, because you had to win twice to win, and he won the Kobe Bryant MVP. Yeah, this is 4 stars all the way for me. That's biased because I'm a Steph Curry fan, so I know if you're a Bron fan, you probably couldn't give two fucks because you like, well, Bron didn't play, so I ain't watching. If Curry didn't play, I was still gonna watch, so. I got a homie on Twitter who refused to watch this shit. He'd rather watch the Daytona 500. And I can tell you right now, that is something my eyes was never gonna watch that shit. I refuse to sit and watch a fucking NASCAR race. It's just not gonna happen, but I enjoyed the NBA All-Star game. I think niggas need to be a little bit more positive going into these All-Star weekends because the negativity doesn't do anything for the product. I don't even know why the NBA still let these motherfuckers talk. I don't know why the NBA is so. The NBA give a lot to ESPN and these niggas for them to always come into these shits talking down on the product. You supposed to be trying to talk us up, bro. You talking negative does not help in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Be critical. You can critique us and tell us how we can get better, but just constantly trying to shit on us without any type of critique at all is just shit. Yeah, something got to change about that. I'm fully on board with the NBA if that's how they felt. But I enjoyed NBA All-Star Weekend, specifically Sunday night. I enjoyed all three of the games. I thought this was a dope format. I know people already saying, oh, they need to go back to East against West. You niggas just was talking about you didn't like the East against West. Then you didn't like Team LeBron, Team Giannis type shit. Now you don't like this. It's literally nothing these niggas can do to make you happy. You say you want them to play like they do in the regular season, but then you say, I don't like the way they play in the regular season. You say you want them to play the way they play in the playoffs. Oh, but the playoffs is boring. Like, you niggas, they can't win with you niggas. That's why I understand why KD talked to you niggas the way he talked to you. I see why they interact with y'all the way they do, because you niggas are annoying. And the media play a big part in it too, because they are no help, bro. They just as annoying as the fucking fans, yo. This popularity of being negative is just insane to me. But nonetheless, I enjoyed NBA All-Star Weekend. If you didn't watch it, you could definitely catch the highlights and the recaps on YouTube or the replays and shit on YouTube. I definitely think it's worth watching the replays. I mean, I know some people think it's real cool when they say, I'm not going to watch the game. I'm going to just watch the replays. As if that get them like some type of brownie points or some shit. But again, niggas is so happy about being negative niggas, bro. I don't get it. Like, niggas jump for joy when they can be negative. Niggas wake up in the morning and say, I can't wait to find different ways to be a negative, miserable nigga today. Like, it's crazy. But I enjoy NBA All-Star Weekend. I hope they do the same format next year, because I think the way this format is, it forces these niggas to be competitive. Except if you're Team Chuck, obviously. But with that being said, I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of The Recap. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You can be anything in the world, so choose to be kind to somebody today. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, and I appreciate the support. I truly do. I fuck with you. I love you. Saint out.
How you doing?
Congratulations.
Fantastic. We champs again. It's nice to bring old Larry back home where he belongs. Like Draymond said, it's the Warriors Invitational. We back. So this is pretty special for sure.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking the summers. You would think shawty ran track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.